steal some attention away from it. Well, first, you plan your building in pink Texas lineage. Expand that a little bit. Then you make it a weird octagon-like shape. Nobody's really using the octagon to its fullest potential nowadays. But then finally, you literally outshine the Sears Tower by putting a giant steel drum on top of your building and filling it with around 1,000 fluorescent light bulbs. So when lit up at night, it is the brightest building in our city skyline. And originally, it was so bright that birds migrating south from Canada were altering their migratory routes. Now, since then, the Watertown light bulb has been altered. It's a little bit dimmer now. Still the brightest building in our city skyline, but now bird-friendly. That's really fancy. Up in front of us, we have this white building here. If we look to the top, there's a triangular section shooting up about 13 stories taller than the rest of the building. This was done by none other than Harry Weed and Associates. And eventually seem to be obsessed with the drawing. Just another interesting way of incorporating triangles into a building here. I noticed the lobby also has sort of a triangular theme to it. But if you look at these two buildings, with nice clearing, you get a really great view of the Sears Tower. See the Sears Tower from the base all the way up to the roof, giving you a really great idea of how tall the building actually is. If you look all the way to the top, you might be able to make out those glass balconies hanging off the sides there. New observatory, take a step out onto those, take a look straight down. Seems pretty terrifying to me, but I'm going to check that out. Now, could you imagine climbing the Sears Tower, like from the outside, climbing up it? It's been done twice. Now, the first time it was done by Dan Goodwin in 1981, and the second time, famously, was done by Alain Robert, a French daredevil with the nickname of Spider-Man. Now, he did it in 1999 without any safety rigging. No nets, no ropes, no safety harnesses whatsoever. Walked up to the building, started climbing. And he did make it all the way to the top, and he was greeted there by Chicago's finest. And he was arrested for trespassing, performing an aerial show without a net. Other charges. Eventually they let him go just for pretty fine. Now, the Sears Tower is done in a 9-bundle tube construction. And think of 9 sticks gathered together for strength. That's the basic idea behind it. Of course, each of those sticks is a 75 by 75 foot building. We then go to the 50th floor, 2 to the 66th, 3 to the 90th floor, and then 2 all the way to the 110-story top. And with this bundled tube construction, the Sears Tower can actually sway 3 feet in either direction without a strong gale force wind. This might have been an outbreak, of course, meant to deal with heavy wind. And off to the right, we have the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or the Merc for short. The 2 40-story towers are flanking what used to be the central trade floor here, done by Fujikawa Johnson in 1977. And they had a unique problem of designing 40,000 square feet of uninterrupted floor space in the center here, so the traders will all the big league jump around they had to do. And they were worried that when they put in that trade floor with all the weight settling and pulling on the 2 towers, the towers might start to cave inward. So what they did was very slightly bowed outward the 2 towers they're constructing, just like an 1/8 of an inch each floor. So the trade floor was put in, all the weight settled, and the towers pulling straight. And it's unique engineering to do there. Now, but that trade floor is no longer trade floor. Now, the Merc merged with the Board of Trade here in Chicago a few years back. It's just renovated that space just turned it more on. So now we have the Civic Opera building here, as it is very clearly labeled. This is, of course, that we spell building with a V. We do think that this building installs throne, because if you crane your neck back, you might be able to make out the shape of a giant armchair or throne. It was commissioned by a man with the name Samuel Insull, the utilities king here in the city of Chicago. Worked for Thomas Edison, his heyday. Again, the building was commissioned by Mr. Insull, who was the original owner of the building. It was actually built by Graham Anderson, Crookston White, 1929. Again, a very unfortunate time. The Great Depression was looming. Mr. Insull would lose a lot of money, as well as his opera building here. And instead of consulting him, Chicagoans decided to make fun of him, saying that upon Mr. Insull's death, his spirit would rise up and sit on his lady throne. So that's where he gets the nickname of Insull's throne from. And there are a lot of different stories out there about why the building has that throne-like shape to it. One of them says that Mr. Insull had a daughter who went to New York to try her hand at opera, and she was so bad that she got booed all the way back here to the city. So Mr. Insull decided to build her own opera building with its back turned to New York. This is a similar another story just instead of his daughter saying his wife. Another story saying he was upset with his downtown investors after the Great Depression hit. So he had the building moved back turned to the downtown office building here in Chicago. So the more likely story, probably just due to his zoning ordinance, like 1923. It's far less persistent now, but it says that only a quarter of your building could rise to its full height. The rest had to be at a city-ordained height. That's the lower section of the building there, and that's where the upper stage is, so it can't support any higher floor space. But now off to the right, we have this red brick structure called the Ivy adorning its facade. This stands on a very historic site. It was right here in 1860 that a makeshift wooden structure known as the Wigwam was put up. Now, the Wigwam was put up and taken down all within about a month, only to house one convention, the Republican National Convention of 1860, where we nominated Illinois' own Abraham Lincoln to run for president. Pretty historic spot there. Well, Dave was nominated. Then we have this building with a big curved glass front to it here. This last address is 333 West Backer.